Hello everyone, this is Christy with MyScrapbookEvolution.com, and it's time for another edition of the Stencilfied Journal Project. Just to quickly recap, this project is hosted by Tina Walker. She is a columnist for Stencil Girl Products. I am doing this for fun with stencils from my own stash, and I am not paid or compensated in any way by Stencil Girl. This week's prompt is to stencil with your least favorite color and write about the things you love. And in a minute you're going to see that I didn't quite follow all of the directions, and I'll tell you why towards the end of the video. Now you can jump around the prompts in any order, but if you want to see prompts 1 through 3, you can find those on my YouTube channel and on the My Scrapbook Evolution blog. This is just a quick look at the completed project before we get started. I am working with the Circular Patterns for Play stencil and the Rose Window Border stencil. Now I chose to work with a few different colors of yellow, and I'm not trying to say that yellow is a horrible color, it's just a color that I struggle to work with, so that's why it's one of my least favorite colors. Sometimes I find that it doesn't dry in the rich tone that I expect from the shade of the marker. So this is a Molotow paint marker, and I'm just sort of loosely coloring in the stencil here. I think a lot of people believe you have to be precise when using a stencil, and you don't. So I'm just kind of using these scribble-like motions. Some of the blocks are not completely filled in, and I'm fine with that. This layout is going to be pretty much monochromatic, meaning all one color, mostly different shades of that color. I do have a little bit of the craft paper on here that I put before, but I'm really focusing on the yellow. You may want to do something like you see on the side and have a card or a piece of scrap paper to work with your mediums. That way you can see how they react together, if you can layer one color over the other, how lighter or darker colors layer over the other ones. And I've switched here to a Posca paint marker. It's pretty true to color for me. It has a nice rich tone. And I just want to layer it over the lighter yellow. Now again, I'm not being precise because I know I'm going to draw over the design, and this is going to sort of form more of a halo effect around the silhouette that I intend to draw later on. I also chose to work with a Jane Davenport mermaid marker, and I like a yellowish orange tone. Now that one is also pretty true to color, and it's a lot brighter than the other shades, but it does have a little bit of bleed with it. Now once I had my background down, I kind of felt like the craft paper was really sticking out, so I tried to push it back into that background, blend it in a little bit by using the stencil and some of this titanium white paint over the top of it. And then I felt like that kind of stuck out, so I added just a little bit more, and it will end up framing the portrait that I'm going to draw onto the page in a moment. I've been challenging myself for a while now to work on improving portraits, and the next method you're going to see me do is a single line drawing. It's something that has recurred in several art classes I've taken and in a book that I've been reading called Drawing Lab. Now, for the most part, I followed the directions, but a couple times I accidentally lifted my pencil here. The goal of a single line drawing is to draw one continuous line without lifting your pencil. You're not necessarily going to end up with a highly realistic drawing. It's going to be kind of quirky and fun. Now, of course, the more you practice, the more realistic it might get, but there are some unusual aspects to the drawing. So I'm working with an image off screen of a person, and it's just a stock image that I had, and my goal is to just loosely draw. And I'm finding that the more that I do, the better I am getting at this, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's a great way to loosen yourself up right before you do other creative projects. So I've kind of just got this quirky girl here, and I drew it with an ink tints pencil, which means that when I wet that pencil, it activates the ink and just sort of intensifies the look of it a little bit. You can, of course, leave it with that crayon pencil type look, but I really like how vibrant it is and how it contrasts against certain colors, and of course against this lighter yellow background, it really pops. Now, I did cover up portions of that second stenciled image quite a bit. But what happens is if you look closely at the finished project image, which you'll be able to see more clearly on my blog, you'll see that that circle sort of forms kind of a halo effect around her head. Overall, I ended up loving the end result. It was just a lot of fun. And I've got another face that I practiced with and another completed art journal page. Now the page to the right I'll be saving for a future project. And here, of course, is the completed project. I did not add any words about my favorite things or things that I love towards the end. I have a very hard time wanting to journal or write on my pages, and that's just a personal preference. So remember, the prompt is how you want to make it. Be sure to check out Tina Walker's completed project. I will link to that and to this project on my blog. If you make something with prompt 4, be sure to leave a link in the comments for this video or in the comments on my blog post. And to see what other people are up to, search for hashtag the Stencilfied Journal.